I wasn't sure what I was going to stream today. I didn't know what I was in the mood for, so I asked people what I should stream. And the first two answers, which were nearly simultaneous, was blueprints. So you've possibly heard me talk about blueprints on some of my streams. I have played like 130 hours in the game at this point, and I am by no means an expert. I'll put it that way. But it is currently one of my favorite games. So for people who don't know, I do love puzzle games. I play a lot of them. But I'm also really big on sort of the like hidden puzzle, hidden story type things. Anyone in the chat been to Meow Wolf? Any of the Meow Wolves? I've only been to the one in Santa Fe, which is the original. And the first time I went, I had no idea what to expect. And we only carved out like 2 hours or something to go. And I realized that that was a huge mistake. Huge. That you really need to carve out kind of a whole day with like a lunch break, or like a lunch break in the middle kind of thing, or plan multiple visits, because it has there was a Meow Wolf demo at Comic Palooza. Yeah, if it was like 2 seconds, then, or any, if it was, I'm going to be honest, if that demo was less than half an hour, there's no way that you could get even a hint of the experience that is Meow Wolf. It is deep lore, very deep lore. And I don't know if it's the case for all of them. I think so. But basically there is a story. And its story is not obvious. But you start to get bits of it, hints of it, right? That's it. That was their video about space. Yeah. I don't know. Any rate, you should just go to a Meow Wolf. I swear there's probably longer videos online to give like kind of a better understanding. The next time we went, I bought basically supplemental items that you can get that help you like uncover stuff, and I was bound and determined to solve the puzzle, the big puzzle, the main puzzle. I love stuff like that. Love it. I loved WandaVision for that reason. And so, as you can imagine, Blueprints, as you'll find out, really ticks a lot of boxes for me. It's a puzzle game, but it's a lot of hidden puzzles, and it's a hidden story. There's a lot of lore. And like I said, I'm like 130 hours in, and I'm still like uncovering stuff. It's really fun. Anyway, let's get into it, because I've been sitting in this frame chatting at y'all long enough. Also, let me know how sound is. The game only has music. Oh, that's a lie. There's a couple things that make sound. So I will bump it up a little on the game. So just let me know. Let me know how sound is. All right. Boop. All right. So you can see my first run, and this is my first tip. It's my first tip. I didn't really understand the game, like what was happening. I thought it was going to be a more straightforward puzzle game. And I kind of got lost and frustrated in the beginning until somebody, like, it kind of clicked for me what was happening, and I was talking to some other people who've played it. And then I continued playing, but I was like, I wish I could start over, you know, kind of, if I knew then what I know now. Hence, this is my current game, and you can see that I've accomplished quite a bit at this point. But anyway, we're gonna start over brand new. It's should kick us into the opening lore, so we'll probably have to wait for that. I'll probably end up doing a lot of chatting this game, because it's a quiet game, but I think that it's going to dump us into the opening lore. So let's give it a go. Cooking dinner and watching. What are you cooking? I want to know what's cooking. What's shaking, bacon? I'm also not entirely sure the best place to put my window, where my head should go. We'll figure it out. Salad. Oh, and chicken pasta. That sounds good. Except I can't have the chicken.
I, Herbert S. Sinclair,
Can you hear?
Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate. The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner. Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
I think it's a good setup. I like the game setup, the story. So we're this young boy. We play this young boy, Simon, and our uncle has recently passed away and has left us the possibility of this estate. Oh, I'm so sorry you're sick. Do you know what it was? I know you went and got a bunch of tests, but did they ever figure out what it was? Anyway, so this estate is ours if we can find the 46th room of a 45-room estate. So this is the entryway, right? These are the grounds. So that's Mount Holly. You can see up in the corner, it says our steps are 49 and it was just 50, and it's because we just left the house and walked outside. So you want to keep an eye on your steps and also realize that there is stuff outside. But before we deal with outside, let's go inside. I'm going to move hang on. I'm going to move my head. Like I said, I'm not honestly really sure where the best place to put me is going to be. I'm going to put me over here. Whoop. I know, I really should lock those together. What am I doing? Because that way you can see where we are, because the names are on this side. Oh, please. Please, please, please. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. It's fine! This is fine. This is totally fine. All right, everything is off kilter now. Here. This is now going above my head. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not futzing with it. You're futzing with it. Okay. We'll see if down here works because there's information all over the screen. So I'm not honestly really sure what's going to work. At any rate. That's a really good one. Yeah, you can't move your head. I'm not a fiery. I love that. Chilly down. Oh, Labyrinth, good. Labyrinth is probably a good thing to be thinking about. Also, my mug today is Ready Player One. Because that is all about these, solving these puzzles. Now, in this case, we don't really have a lot of the lore background at first. All right, the Mount Holly blueprint. So pick this up when you first get there. Yay. And basically it means that now anytime we can get to this screen by pressing tab. Oh, right. Now you can't see those rooms. I don't know where, because there's literally information. You know what? I might move myself back. I don't know where to put me. There's no good place to put my head. There's a sentence. No good place to put my head. Oh, no. No. Grab the wrong thing. Stop. You. I want you. Okay. I'll go back in this corner. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Oh my god. You guys. If I could just... There we go. This is fine. I'm a mad bomber today. It's alright. I'm having a fairly good health day. But I'm a little spastic. Good health day, bad ADHD day. Alright. Good enough. We'll figure it out from there. Anyway, this is the 45 rooms. Right? 5 times 9. Everybody can do math. The entrance hall, always here. The antechamber, which is the room before the 46 room, which is off the map, right, is always there. But we are going to fill in this map every time we do a run. Okay? So that's the idea. So how we do that is we go to a door. Okay, so the first thing is, because this is a puzzle game, I don't know what kind of order I'm gonna be terrible at giving tips. It's a puzzle game. Treat it a little bit like an escape room. So you really want to kind of take notice of your surroundings, right? Now, some things are just decor, but some things are for reasons, right? Either for puzzle reasons or they're part of the lore. Is it loud? Let me turn me down. Let me know if that's better. Okay. So my big tip, I'm gonna say my big tip, like they're all the big tip. Get a notebook. Get a notebook that is otherwise empty because you are going to take copious amounts of notes. I feel like everybody's gonna have a different way that setting up notes makes sense, and considering that you discover stuff in different orders, it's hard to say a good way to set it up, but I'm sure that there are tips and tricks for that online. So, we've got a clock. It's ticking down time. You can see it's moving. We've got this dude. We got that dude. We've got this drawing. Got this drawing. So we've got some lovely art prints. We've got this. We've got the holly up there. Got the 3 doors. And we've got a couple of things to read. Open only in the event of my death. Okay, Simon. Welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could have been farther from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. Okay, this is important. It means every day we're starting with a clean slate. That sort of changes as we go along, but for now, clean slate every day. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads, abandon the path, and go where you want it to lead. With all my love and wishes, best of luck, Herbert S. Sinclair. Okay. Set it down. All right, searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose one. Remember, we talked about that. It's up here. When you no longer have any feetsies left, steps, you will be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. It will call it a day for you. If you want to call it sooner or need to call it sooner, you can. Okay, so the first thing we have are these doors. I tend to do this first. I know people have different ways that they like to do it. But one thing I will say is a lot of people will try and go straight up. The problem with that is the security in the house gets more and more difficult the closer you get to the antechamber. And to bypass or circumvent, otherwise deal with that security, you really need things that you're going to get from drafting more rooms, especially in the lower levels. So I don't know, are we on the third tip? My third tip is don't make a straight run for the antechamber. I click on the door and we get a choice of rooms. You can think of these rooms as cards or tiles, like if it were a tabletop board game, which I believe it was originally. Yeah, you have to you have to prove you've got the stamina to have a 45 room house. And these tiles will go down, so they fit together in various ways. Some of them will tell you that rooms have bonuses that they give you. For instance, this will give us 2 steps. The closet will give us 2 items. Items, steps, they're all very important. You just kind of got to get a feel for balancing them. You're going to need gems to draft certain rooms. We'll see that later. And you're going to need keys to open certain rooms. We'll see that later. But in the beginning, I would suggest, until you get really good or you have very specific things that you're trying to do with each run, don't block yourself in right away. Also, in order to have a lot of options for where to go for pathing, you want to look for rooms that have multiple egresses, right? I tend to, and I see a lot of people suggest this, saving orange, which is hallways, corridors, for later, when you kind of need to get a bit more creative. But if you feel like it's just the best out of a set, then feel free to draft it. you kind of get a feel for drafting, and sometimes you just got to make a judgment call, flip a coin kind of thing. But I'm actually going to pick the bedroom. Now the bedroom, this bedroom has okay, we're just going to look. We have something that we can look at here. So when you enter a room, like I said, treat it like an escape room, especially when you're very first starting the game and drafting. This is where you would take notes. Look at the things that are in the room, because certain elements are going to repeat, become important. So we have another of these. You remember we had those hand drawings out there, and there's 2 more here, right? Now this one has a chest. It will not always appear in this room, and you either need a key or a sledgehammer to open it. We don't have that right now. It'll tell you the trunk is locked. We could see we've got this carpet. There's a picture of somebody. We can look at that. You can't turn it or anything. It's just this face. But starting to learn who the people are will be part of the game. Noting that she's got this crescent moon necklace, just kind of remembering who she is. This is where, again, those taking notes helps. You cannot open this, so a lot of things you cannot interact with. But I suggest when you first get to a room, try to interact with all sorts of things. Try to click different surfaces, move your mouse around. That was a thing that I learned. I got frustrated when I first played it. Yes, no path to Narnia, sorry. That would have been cool though. Was that I kept wanting it to be more like an escape room where I could interact with all these boxes and everything. So not everything is going to necessarily be important, but you don't know, All right, greetings from Reddington. Reddington is the town near us, as we kind of have picked up from the notes. This is a picture of it. Ta-da, that's a picture of Reddington. You'll notice the word red and the word blue. So blueprints, in case you haven't figured out, is a pun. And I'll show you. It took me, honestly, an embarrassingly long time, considering that the hints are right there on the splash page when you start, to figure out the pun. So we have this hand, which is cool, but I can't do anything with it. These don't open, but we've got this origami swan. Try the drawer handles. Try to pull a rabbit out of the hat. We've got a pawn here and these little sculptures. This guy, can't do anything with that. Another origami swan. This chair, bookcase, and some boxes. So these will all be just kind of however you want to take notes. Just try to remember things about rooms, because one thing about this game is that there's kind of two levels of puzzle. One is a room specific puzzle. The puzzle exists in that room, the solution is in that room. The other is that it is house-wide, that there's a lot of hints and things leading you to a puzzle solution, but you might not even know the puzzle exists yet. Okay, so when we hit tab, it brings up our map. Now, it doesn't have everything, but we can kind of see where we are. Now, this gives us a key, a gem, and a coin. which is nice, but it will block us, right? Because it's a dead end. This gives us only a key, but we are able to keep moving. But if you look, it's just going to move us back towards where the entrance hall goes out. So I'll risk it and go ahead and dead end us here to get those things. So the coin will basically always be there. But if you look, there's, okay, so some rolled up carpet. There's a kid's rocking horse. There's a box we can't interact with. There's a piece of paper with a blue bird, an adorable blue bird on it. So that's there in a swimsuit. A blue bird in a swimsuit. He's cute. There's another pawn. There's basically this like house construction, you know, kind of like model. There's the word I'm looking for. Another, oh, and there's another globe. So you'll start to notice that there are things that repeat. Like this is pretty fast that we've had a globe and this is where taking notes, because once you start taking notes, you start to realize there's 2 more art pieces that we can see. It's this one and this one. And you can take note of what you think those art pieces are. The blue bird of happiness. But yeah, you can't really interact with anything in here. And like I said, this is where I kind of started getting, because I was like, why isn't every room basically a puzzle room, or like what's happening? All right, so we need to go back out with our goodies. And let's try and go. Time keeps on ticking. You could go across the other way. So if we put in the pantry, it'll just basically be a dead end room. And this is a dead end room. So honestly, right now, the spare room is a better choice because it's going to get us up past the rooms that we've already drafted. We can try to go straight this way. All right, the den might be a very good option here. Here, let me bring up the map. So you can see it's got two egresses, which is great, and we get a gem for it, right? So sometimes your draws are quite good. One of them is very obviously the best one. Sometimes you get a lot of crap, and you're not really certain what to do. So we're in here, and the first thing I think we all notice is that there's an abundance of clocks, right? So we have this clock here. We have this giant clock over here, which is turning, but you cannot seem to interact with it, right? Can't move it, can't stop it. There's more kind of globe things as, you know, bookends, and we got more of this art, this sort of hand-drawn art. We've got this clock. Okay, we've got another pawn. So there's something, like, so far we found a bunch of pawns, right? We've got this, and the first thing that I think I noticed when I came in here, other than the clocks, which is just so obvious, is that the top of the grandfather clock looks like the swans. And you'll remember we found the origami swans. So swans seems to be one of the imagery elements that is coming up a lot. So clocks, swans, pawns, these art bits. I can't do anything with the books. I am in every. I went so at Meow Wolf. There's the kids' room has a bookshelf that is full of books. Oh, my cup of cheer. And I must have sat there and flipped through those books. I don't know for how many minutes. I don't know how important it was. I mean, they were thematically, I think they chose each book, but I couldn't find any actual, like, clues in any of the books. But if there's a book, I'm like, there must be a clue. Yeah, there's a Meow Wolf in Houston. All right. I put the hat on my cuppa when I made my tea, and then I went to open it and it reeked of coffee. And I realized that my husband had used the hat over his coffee, and then there was coffee in my tea. I have not had an opportunity to fix this. So there's coffee in my tea, and I'm trying not to be grossed out by it. It's a very, very little bit, but I can taste it. All right, so let's go look at these. Okay, so this clock is ticking along. They all seem to be the same time. This looks like it has a place for a key to go in, and you've got, of course, these swans facing each other. It feels very important. And then you've got these guys, which are the same time, but if you look, oh, like right now, is anything? No, I don't. Did anything happen while it was? No. So I will tell you no, because I've played in this room. Get ready to play in this room a lot. There are these symbols on the clock, and you'll notice that we were just in the sweet spot, but it doesn't appear like anything happened. Nothing appeared that didn't open, nothing moved, nothing, like, no clock dong sounds went, but none of the other clocks have it, just these two. So, you know, write that down, write that down. Okay, let's go straight across. Okay, so we're in a corner. So honestly, picking a corner room, like the pantry or the parlor, is a good bet here. So I'm gonna pick the parlor, and I'll show you why, because I want you to see what an in-room puzzle looks like. So I do not plan on completing this run. I don't plan on making this like a big walkthrough. I really just want this to be where I show you kind of what it's like to play generally, because I feel like once you get started and you understand kind of the rules, the kind of unwritten rules of the game, and understand those things, that it becomes a lot more satisfying to play. Look, a teapot. I mean, the thing we should probably be looking at is there's another pawn. And look, there's a little bitty version of that rocking horse up there. And a teapot. I love a game with a teapot. Okay, but these have things on them. There are 4 boxes in this room. How many lights are there? How many lights? So these boxes say things, but we can't do anything with them. Aha, something we can read. Oh, and something we can pick up. Ah, a wind-up key, a component of the parlor game. Okay, so we've set up that there's a game in this room. All right. May the 2nd. It took me a while, and I haven't been keeping track of this game, to note what day it is. It will be important at some point to keep track of the day. Dear Herbert, it was a great honor receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, but I thought you were Herbert. It has been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. I love this guy. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I had mentioned to you a rather singular parlor game I had played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colors. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time. And I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with your guests should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. All right, here are the rules. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only false statements. Only 1 box has a prize within, the other 2 are always empty. That's it. Hello! I like the parlor game too. Now that I'm in like the hundreds on my main run, the parlor game and the dartboard game are much more difficult. I have played 136 games total, I think. So this game can be a time suck, is what I'm telling everybody. Okay, so that brings us back to here. Okay, there are 4 boxes in this room. Well, it's either a Star Trek episode, or that's false. It's good. These are the early ones are gonna seem so easy now. Okay, there is only 1 box in this room. Well, that one is also false. So false, which means this one must be true. The gems are in the true box. Okay, so now we put the wind-up key in. Little white lies. Yes, little white lies and little blue lies. All right, so we got some gems out of that. Make it a habit whenever you start drafting to hit that tab to look at where you're going, right? I'm going to pick the observatory. It does loop us back, but this, like, they're both good. These both go the same way, and this one is a dead end, and I just want you to see the observatory. So we're going to have to spend a gem to basically buy this draft. So we have 4 gems, that's fine. Yes, build shine early. Build shine early. All right. Did we? Oh yeah, we did look around that room. Y'all, my ADHD is... Okay, this is the first time we've seen a chess piece that's not a pawn, but it is still a chess piece. Look around this room, and it is... Okay, we've got a big telescope, but it's pointing at the wall, which is absolutely no help. We've got books and a book we can read. So let's read that. The Fixed Stars, the Stargazer's Companion to Constellations. Yay! Preface. This book contains a complete star base, a list of constellations, and the observed effects that accompany the appearance of each one. Depending on the number of stars that can be seen in the sky on any given day, different constellations of various sizes may be visible. Sometimes more than one on a single day. This book, a solid base for astronomy, will help you easily identify these constellations, impress your friends, and discover the joy of stargazing. All right, 1 North Star gives you +1 gold. Okay, you get 2, you get 3. You see, and each time it gives, like, you get something. It tells you, right? And it goes up quite... It only goes to 20k. But you'll see it goes through, like, all of these. It gets quite complicated, although you can go past this, but you just start honestly getting sort of combinations of things. But yeah, there's a lot of... But okay, so we've learned that. Yay. But what do? Ha! Here's a... Ooh, this one spins. This one spins. Right? And again with the art. Right? We have 2 hand-drawn art. these little guys again. This one's bent, right? And it's got this thing at the bottom, which is a bit reminiscent of the symbol on the clocks in the den, but clearly this is pointing differently, or it seems to be pointing differently. But it's at least something interesting to note. We can't do anything. Oh, wait, we can do something there. Oh, it moved it. Ooh, fancy. Okay, so, but what did it do? What did it do? Okay, so it just moves it back and forth. There's some stairs here. All right, right. I like going back and like, because now, because I've been doing it for so long, I think about these rooms very differently than when I first encountered them. Right, so, aha, it tells you which way you're turning it, based on which side. Okay, but it's clearly now, okay, what's going on? So let's go up the stairs, see what do. Not be close enough, but there's something there. Jim and the holograms, yeah. I mentioned Jim and the holograms the other day. Oh no, is this like an 80s? What if? Okay, see, because it comes all the way out here too. What is this one? Will, okay, raise it and lower it. So obviously we want it to go up there, but hold on, can we? No, we're now on the wrong side to be able to get to that. This is me basically redoing stuff that I did when I first found these rooms. And this is what I mean, when you get to rooms that have mechanics, have a lot of stuff that you can play with, spend some time, and honestly it's a lot of them early on. Spend some time in them, you know, really try to kind of play with stuff, really think about stuff more, no, we wanted to go this way, more laterally a bit. Try to think of how it might relate to other rooms that you've been to. I think that was a thing that was, for me, kind of click, that helped me enjoy the game more. Yeah, see, this, okay, let's go try and do that now. Is to not really think of each thing as discrete, but to think of the whole thing as a puzzle. Can I reach it now? Ah, no. Okay, can I lower it? Okay, wrong way. This is pretty much literally what happened the first time. Was I spent forever. Oh, finally I can open this. Oh, okay. What does this get us? All right, you found a secret floor plan. Yay! Would you like to permanently add planetarium to your drafting pool? So the planetarium has got no egresses, but it says if you call it a day in the planetarium, you gain 2 stars. Go ahead and add it. Getting lots of stars can be very beneficial. This might honestly be a little early to add the planetarium, but what the hey? So let me show you. If you click the R key, you get here. It shows you what room we're in. It says observatory. It tells you the cost. It's a blueprints. Everybody get it now? And it tells you the rarity and how many times you drafted. This is the directory. So if you click on it, you can see the entrance hall is always there. We've drafted the spare room, the parlor, the storeroom, right? And you can see loads of blank spaces at the moment, right? Found floor plans. We've found the planetarium, and there's clearly maybe something that needs to go there and something that needs to go there. So you can always check back there to kind of get an idea of how you are doing vis-a-vis rooms. Because here's another tip. Early on, you really want to prioritize finding rooms you have not seen before, just because it gives you some more information. So you want to keep an eye on how many keys you have, how many gems you have. So you want rooms that give you those things. All right, so now it's gone this way. And aha, we can look through it. Ah, and there's our 1 star, our North Star, and we can click on it. And it gives us 1 more coin. You want to be able to access new rooms, so having those keys and the gems is important. But also just finding new rooms to learn new things is also very beneficial. Okay, so we're now going out this way. The den is... All right. Ooh, security might be good. And we've got the gems okay for it. The chapel, because you're going to lose stuff. I want to... We'll do the chapel, like, eventually here. Just be careful. So red rooms tend to have a negative. But if you're not planning on buying anything, it might not be important for you to have that money. Chapel is great when you have no money at the beginning, or you have tons of money at the beginning to draft. But I think we'll wait and we'll do security, and I'll show you why. All right, so it's gonna give us a little cutscene. Is it Draconican? I almost said Draconian, but it's Draconican. How many days have you played? But you'll notice how the art basically looks like blueprints. I love that. I love that it has that. Yeah, everybody hear my dog's going mad. The art is really amazing. All right, so he's looking at these rooms at cameras. None of these rooms do we recognize right now. Except that one. We've been in there. That's us. All right. You know, you could put the stream on and have dinner and watch the stream, you know, like a normal American family. There's something we can grab. There's a key, so there's an object that says a safe deposit box key. When you hit your tab menu, you do have an inventory, so it tells you the things that you've picked up right there. Okay, so we've got some keyboards, we've got C-cam, something, coffee cup, we've got all these, we've got another clock and another knight. So we've had knights and pawns, so A cam, B cam, these things which also look like they could have keys. I don't think they would be a, oops, see I can do something on here, safety deposit box. There's some duct work, people leaving their coffee out, just leaving their coffee out. All right, oh, there's stuff we can read, staff notice, All right, let's start with this. We'll start with this board. All right, staff notice. Effective the first week of December, payroll for all live out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically. As your attendance will no longer be registered at morning roll call, it is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out at one of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. 2 of these terminals can be found at security, where the punch clock used to be, and in the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to our house manager, Mrs. Babbage. Take note of the people who work here. Take note of all these things. Terminal password scratched out, but you can see that it starts with an S. Right? So we can see whatever the terminal password is, it starts with an S. We got some more art. Here. Until further notice, the antechamber has been unlocked, and access levers are no longer required to grant entry, it says. Keycard access security doors are more likely to appear in the higher ranks of the estate. So remember I told you, it's 45 rooms, 4 by 9. It took me a while. If you can, I think, just see it. It says rank 2. We're in security rank 2. That's because we are on the second line. So that rank tells you how close to the antechamber, basically, what the line of the antechamber you are. Likewise, as a redundant security measure, normal doors in the estate will also be more likely to be locked as you progress north. So remember I told you that as you go north, the security gets deeper and deeper. So we have found these things. Cool. And we've made notes of them in our notebook. Yay. Because we're clever. So that door automatically opened because we had already drafted that room and they're connected. I can't do anything on those. I would like to use the old phone because I miss those phones. Gosh, they were heavy. Ah, welcome to Mount Holly Security. Okay, so view estate inventory. The following is a detailed list of items currently in the house that have yet to be collected. This list will be updated as new rooms are added. So right now there's the one trunk. You remember we found the trunk, but we don't have a way to open the trunk. We don't have a key. We don't have any way to open it. So nothing we can do with the trunk, and we have not overlooked any other. Oops, did not mean to do that. Okay, but then there's the keycard system. Okay, keycard system. Security doors are doors within the estate that can only be unlocked with an electronic keycard. The keycard system is currently operational. That's no moon! Alright, so we can go into the settings. Aha! Security level, medium, and offline mode. So we can see what security level is. Determines the amount of keycard security doors that will be deployed in your estate. So it's how many doors there are. You should expect to see 1 or 2 security doors with a low setting and 5 or 6 with a high setting. So right now we certainly don't have key cards, and we need keys. Well, we have 1 key, but we might want to save it for a door. We'll decide what we're going to use that on. But yeah, we want to set that for low, and then confirm setting, and then let's check offline. So when I first found this, I wasn't really sure, and you kind of, depending on what rooms you draw, will kind of determine if you want them locked or unlocked. We're going to go with locked or unlocked for now. Now remember, they're operational. They're not offline right now. Okay. Return to security menu. Okay, we can also log into network. Password. We don't know it. We just know that it starts with an S. So we're gonna have to do more investigation to figure that out. Okay. We've been in that room, so we want to go this way. We want to either go straight or to the right. Oh, this might be a good place to go ahead and put a hallway. That way if we need to go back to some rooms, we've got options. So we'll go ahead and do that. Plus the passageway, it's great. It's, you know, it's as many, well, it's, for now, as many doorways out. More art. And something to read. As you could go along, you can change the rooms. So my rooms look a little different. This is one of the rooms that is different for me in my game. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked, it says. So let's look. So we've got a west wing and an east wing. And that's important because some rooms will only draft in the west wing. Some will only draft in the east wing. There are some that only draft in corners. So play around with things because they don't necessarily tell you that in their descriptions. It's a thing that you're going to learn after encountering things multiple times and it's sort of clicking for you. I would like to actually go this way out the hallway, I believe, so that we can try and maybe capture these two, fill in these two, but we'll see how it goes. I went the right way. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we've got the lavatory, the nook. So the nook will go back into spare room, but it otherwise blocks us off. So this might be where we just go ahead and bite the bullet and put the chapel in. These aren't, so not really sure what the lavatory is going to get us, but it's red and it's a dead end, so I don't really want to build that right there. This is okay, but I feel like this way we still have 2 egress options. So even though we're going to lose some money, let's go ahead and draft it. That was the sound of us losing money. And we're going to spend some time in here because there is a lot happening in this room. Oh, we get another chess piece. Right, now we have the bishop, which, I mean, seems apropos, no? Okay, so we've got some pews. We've got some stained glass windows. We've got some statues. We've got all of this going on. So there's the holly again. Right, Mount Holly, and it looks like there's 2 birds there. But it also kind of looks like a clock behind it. But you see below it is also this kind of sunburst that it's got going on there. You've got these. So you've got this person. Okay, they're numbered. Are they in order? Then we should start wherever they start. Okay, so they start over here. 1. So 1, we've got a person with wings and a halo, so some kind of angel, wearing some sort of apron and carrying a hoe. Okay. Oh, it had gotten very, very flat, so now's a good time. Show me the cappy. You got it. You got a cappy. Everybody gets a cappy. Okay. It's got sort of, I like it because it's got, you know, holiday colors, Christmassy colors. Okay, that is not 2. Oh, they're not in order. Okay. I say, like I don't already know this. So this one is, pizza chef. The chef it's got like the bread paddle and a chef's hat. Then you've got wearing overalls with sort of a cowboy hat and a pitchfork, right? It's 3. So then 4 is a chimney sweep. So got the kind of top hat and the chimney sweeper. Then you've got this rider or horse rider, whatever you want to, pretty traditionally horse riding attire with that the helmet and a riding crop. And then you've got this person who looks like a maid. They've got on the classic black and white maid's outfit with the little headpiece and is carrying a broom. And then, which one am I missing? Which one am I missing? Oh, did that one. Oh, we're doing this one. Yep. So it looks like a knight, right? It's got a scepter, got a crown, and a shield. So like a queen, a knight, queen knight. Not really sure like necessarily what's happening there. Also not sure if, you know, the colors are important, but there's a lot going on in this room, right? We've got a whole lot of candles, but not necessarily anything we can do with them. And then of course we've got the statues. So we've got this woman who, she might have been holding something, but she's not holding something right now. You've got this sort of monk guy. He's got a what's that? What are they called? Cinctures? I don't know what they're called. And a book. I know what a book is. And then you got a sort of bishop-looking guy. He's got the hat, which is called a. Why have I forgotten what the hat is called? So he's got a crozier, he's got a book, and he's got a mitre. It's a mitre, right? I'm a person who knows things. And then you've got this lady who's wearing like a dainty little crown. So maybe another queen or something like that. Don't really know, but there's a lot going on in this room. So this definitely seems important, but it doesn't seem like you can interact with anything here, at least not right now. And I will say another tip is, just because you weren't able to do something in a room before, either in a previous run or earlier in a run, do not assume that the room will be the same entirely. Okay, so let's keep running this way. Okay. Oh. I love the drawing room. We've got 2 gyms, so we can afford it. So let's go into the drawing room. Again, it gives us 2 more egresses, so we've got options. All right. Ooh, this room. Well, this room's full of art. Full of art. Another phone that I want to use. Does this feel like a scene in Clue? Yeah, and the weirdest thing, my old boss is here. Okay, let's go look at some stuff. Let's explore the room, shall we? So we've noticed another clock, but this one is not as fancy. I mean, it moves, but it's not as fancy. We've got another fireplace with no fire, because fireplaces are showing up, but I mean, that's not uncommon. I mean, it is a big drafty mansion. So another thing, okay, so that's foot. Okay, they've all got, so they're repeating. So like this is 3 of the same guy. That's 3 of the same guy. But it's a bunch of the same art. Because, like, that guy is that guy is that guy. A horse. So the art's repeating. Except this. This is not one of these. It doesn't have that going on. So this is sitting. So it appears to be maybe that chair. Is it that chair? All right, sitting in there in the chair. Can we do anything? Good. See, I'm proud of you. You're learning new tricks. So he's blocking the clock. All right. Now this guy looks like our uncle, right? Because we saw that picture when we started, like in the opening sequence. We've got more art. Nothing we can, doesn't seem like we can do anything. Do these slide something? We're back to pawns. Oh, there's something for us to read. Drawing floor plans. So here's the thing that the game will do. It will periodically give you some like rules and tips. Do not expect them in any order that like a tutorial where it's going to build and be in order. Sometimes just based on your runs, you may have figured something out on your own before you find the instructions or whatever. So drawing floor plans. Each time you click on a door, you will draw 3 floor plans from which you must select one to draft. However, there are some items and rooms that will allow you to redraw if you do not like your initial 3 options. We haven't got that at the moment. All right, can't do anything, can't open that. But there's something going on with this room because so much like the den and the chapel, there seems to be a lot of clues to something, but we might not necessarily know what those clues are. It's like there's this up here, but again, we can't seem to slide. Like it doesn't seem to slide. It's got the same on all of them. Right? Can't change the clock. Oh, we accidentally hit that. I do absolutely recreating my first time that I discovered that. I would love to say that I figured out the clue, but no, I didn't. I absolutely inadvertently did that the last time. And there's a hidden safe, and the safe has numbers. But we don't have anything other than maybe the chapel. We don't know how many numbers we need. I mean, it could be like in here, everything is 1s and 3s, but you know, that doesn't really give us a whole lot of information. So I don't know. I say, you know, this is yet another one where we kind of write down what we see here, and maybe it will make more sense when we encounter more of the clue, right? And this is when then I realized, oh, this was telling us to do that. But no, I totally did it on accident. I would love to say that I solved that with my big brain, but I did it. Dumb luck over skill and planning any day. All right, what do we got? Ooh, well, here from the drawing room, you have the option to redraw a floor plan every time you exit the door. Oh, you made butter pecan as iced tea? Didn't you love it? It's so good as an iced tea. I tell people this all the time. And if you make it like you make like a traditional chai, where you put it on the stovetop and boil it in the milk, and then make it like that, like you would a Thai tea, It's so dang good. So we've got the commissary, which we could build, because we've got only one. So we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna spend our last gem. But the courtyard has more egresses, so I'm tempted to choose that one. If they all sucked, we could redraw, but I think this one, it would be nice if we could get, 2 egresses for free, but those are not necessarily super common without it being like a red room or something like that. So, let's go ahead and click this, see what happens. Ooh. Aha. Aha! Alright, well this is... I'm sure it was pretty at one point. Oh. We've got just dirt and stuff piled up, but... Ah! A thing we can pick up. Ooh, a sledgehammer. Can shatter padlocks on locked trunks. So do y'all remember, we have a trunk, right? In the bedroom. So why don't we're gonna spend some steps to go back. Anything in this room? This room is also different in my runs. And we get to see what's in this trunk now. Ah, okay, we have a key card. All right, which means that we don't need to worry about the state of the... Where do we put this? Where do we put security? Through the den. Okay. Which means we don't really need to worry about the key card system. So we can put it back on... I forgot what we left it on. I'm so bad at... Alright, so let's go ahead and leave it. We can make it locked for now, because we have the... If it is offline, it could be locked, and but because we'll be able to open it because we have the key card, right? We'll be able to open them now anyway because we have the key card. Okay, so we want to get back to the courtyard. And of course we're just as far away as you could be. Oh wait. Let me just absolutely go wrong way. Wrong way, it's fine. I want to go I want to go to the hallway. Wasting steps. When you get to the higher levels, we can go ahead and go out this way actually while we're here. You have ways of adding steps, of having more steps every day, so I'm not used to having very little steps. Ooh, this would be a good place to build the nook, because again, we're on the edge, which could be a good place to put a dead end, which all of these could be good choices, because we could grab the closet, because that's got 2 items. Guest bedroom would give us steps, but let's go ahead and keep trying to move through and also snag another key. All right, so what's this room? I love this room. I would love one of these rooms in my house. And something to read. Okay, a journey noteworthy. As you continue on your adventure, you may want to consider getting something to scribble down your notes and observations. See, we're how far in before it's like, you might want to take some notes. No, really. You're probably going to want to take some notes. A pad, a scrap of paper, or perhaps most fittingly a journal. You don't want to do it on sticky notes. You don't want to do it on scraps of paper. You are very much going to want to do it in a proper notebook or a journal. And grab a highlighter and some of those, tabs that you stick into books when you're researching stuff. Got this lovely little shelf. Got more art. We're writing down what the art is. I don't know. All right, we're pretending like we're writing everything down. All right. Oh, so that's a rook. That's different. So that's the third type of chess piece we've had. We've got a radio. That does nothing. The radio does nothing. Sad face. No radio. Books that you can't open. This game with its books that you can't open. Alright, not really sure what else we could do other than just sort of take notes of what's in here. The 2 art pieces. Maybe what's going on here. The rook. Take note that we can hang our hat here. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so now we can go up. So now we'll be going to rank 4. We'll be moving on to rank 4. Alright, so we've got 2 dead-end rooms and the Rompus room. So the Rompus room will cost us a gem. And we have a gem to spend, but do we want, I don't know, do we want to spend it? We don't have any place to spend money right now. And right now I think we'd rather try to find gems and keys. And the closet tells us it has 2 items. So let's go ahead and check in the closet. We got a pair of shoes. What is the shoes? Ah, occasionally saves you steps when traveling. So basically it'll sometimes negate the steps when you enter a room. There's more art in this one. I like that the umbrella looks like a blueprint, but in black print. I just love how there's just these homages to blueprints. It's so cool. You can't really open anything in here, so just no chess pieces, nothing. All right, but we do have another gem, but that is a dead end, so we cannot go that way. So let's head back to where we were, which was this way. Since we're here, let's try to draft out of here again. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we can go north out of the courtyard, but we would have to go, and we can go south out of the courtyard. If we go north out of the courtyard, we're very much going to have to go very straight out, depending on what the room does. 4 items could be really good for us because we don't have a lot of items. Let's risk it. This is very risky because we could really block ourselves coming out of the courtyard. But I'd like to see what we can get. Okay, what do we got? Ah, we got another key, another gem, and another gem. Outrageous. Truly outrageous. All right, there's a swan. There's another one of these art pieces, and there's the other one. Okay, so again, they're always in 2s. I want that pair of shoes right there. All right, we got these hats. We got boxes. We can't. Aha! Another pawn. Drawers we cannot open. So it doesn't seem like there's really anything. This seems to be a place where we can get those items, find our art, our little art hunt. But oh wait, hold on. There's another lady. There's this lady. She got the beauty mark and the little nice tie. So there's whoever this lady is. Different from the other lady, the lady with the moon necklace. All right. Now we go see if we have screwed ourselves over, yay or nay. Okay, we're back here. Doesn't seem to be anything else we can do. Let's try to go south because we got these 2 rooms this way. Ooh, I'm a slouching. I'm super slouching. It looks like my shoe closet if it were better organized. All right. right. Honestly, let's do this because I feel like we're getting very low on steps. So we go in here, we grab some steps. What's going on in here? More drawers that we can't open. Light fixture. Beds. It's nautical. It's not more art that we're writing down in our notebook. Don't forget to write it down in your notebook. We got this like adorable little boat. Can't seem to do anything. Hello? Nothing with the lights. Okay, there's a whale. There's a sheep or dog. It's a sheepdog. Yeah. Okay, there's a basketball. All right, cool. Oh, there's another pawn. Really love pawns. And there's something we can read. All right, Sinclair. Remember, this is the guest bedroom, so we'll assume this letter is from a previous guest. Just wanted to write you a quick note thanking you for the weekend. I had a thrilling time on the hunt with Lord Evanson, whose peculiar personality somewhat made up for your own absence. I also got to appreciate your new game in the billiard room. A game, we know, he loves them. We have not drafted the billiard room yet. It's been ages since I've seen the billiard room in the house. I was beginning to suspect you retired the floor plan. It was well worth the wait, though, as I always enjoy your mathematical puzzles. Okay, so now we know that when we find the billiard room, that there will be a puzzle in there, and it has to do with math. And appreciated that I didn't need to know the rules of darts to play your variation. Hoping your health improves shortly. Dude. So this is probably shortly before, that our uncle passed away. All right. Well, doesn't seem to be anything else, but this room has given us a hint about future puzzle that we may or may not. All right, so now we have literally one egress, so we are playing with fire, my friends. Playing with fire. Ah, but we can do the corridor. See, the corridor, it doesn't take away anything. But it will not block us in, because if we do that, we're done. If we do that, we're done. So this is really the one option. Is always unlocked, the corridor. All right, corridor. Anything corridor? Does the corridor? Ah, the corridor does have art. All right. Are we taking notes on the art? Remember, we've taken... Oh, wait. Did I miss a chess piece? Did I miss a chess piece? I don't think so. We've got urns, or I don't know what, vase. We've got a vase, a vase, a vase, a vase, a candlestick, a candlestick. It was the candlestick in the corridor. It's another hat. Okay, people just leaving their hats everywhere. All right, so here we are. So here we remember I told you like west and east will have certain things. So the west wing hall will only draft in the west hand corridor, like on this side. I'm gonna pick this because now we'll have two. Okay, this one is, we're done. It has completely blocked us. This one is fine. We could get it. Don't know what food does yet. I mean, I do. You don't. But I feel like this one, because now we'll have two choices for pathfinding. So I want to pick this. Okay. More vases, more candlesticks, something to read. Staff notice. June 15, 1983. Out of respect for the late Lady Clara Ebsen, the West Wing will be closed until further notice, while the floor plans associated with this wing have not been removed from the pool. We ask that staff members refrain from drafting them during this period of mourning. Likewise, any that may draft... Bleh. All right, but that's in the past at some point. And it's boarded up. Art askew on the walls. That thing, and that thing. Okay, so we'll try and go this way. Check out the card. Oh, that card that I just read? Is that the one you wanted me to check? Or you wanted to see the, like, that card? Which is the same as the one in the entryway, the Queen of Hearts, I think it was. So yeah, there's when you see something happen, it's a little delayed. So then when I see you type something back, it's more delayed. So I might have to go back to something, which is a little hard in a game that is counting your steps. Okay, we've got the Rumpus Room again. Something called the Boiler Room. Power Source, and something called the Boudoir. Alright, I don't feel like we need whatever the Boudoir is going to be, because it's just giving us another egress going north, and we've got one literally right adjacent to it. So I'd rather do the Rumpus Room or the Boiler Room. Well, we've already seen a couple of we saw the key place where we could buy keys, and we saw the kitchen where we could buy food, but we've got no money. So we know that there are rooms that are where we're going to want to use money. So this could be good. This one costs literally the same. It says Power Source. Don't know what that means. And it's got more egresses. I don't know. Do y'all have a preference? Would y'all like to try the Rumpus Room or the Boiler Room? I'm curious what you guys would want. I know which one I kind of want to pick, but do you have a preference? I'll flip a coin. Actually, I'll probably choose the, well, it's the choose the complicated one or choose the fun one is really the question. Okay. The Rumpus Room sounds more fun, but I'm more curious about, yeah, the Rumpus Room certainly sounds fun. Okay, we'll do the Boiler Room then. Let's go find out what it is. All right. Well, guess what? It's a boiler room. All right. Well, okay. It's got, so one thing that it's got that the other rooms that we have been in is that it's two-storied. It's got this going on, and we've seen some ducks in other rooms, so that may be important. Look out here, and yeah, this doesn't seem to have any. Okay, well, we've got, okay, we can get to this door here, but we cannot get to that door there. So this room is basically a puzzle when you first get to it. I mean, it's a puzzle all the time, but it's far more puzzling when you first get to it. Before we open the door, let's see what we can do. All right, so we come down the stairs, and now we've got, okay, we've got this that we can turn. Okay, so that's basically got two states, and there's another one over here which is more complicated, which can go a variety of different ways. Alright. Okay, the pipes are going to different things, so there's this, which which appears to be a lift right there. This pipe goes up there, so that seems to control that door. And this goes up there, so that might actually control this bridge. Yeah, it's gonna control this bridge. Got okay, climate. Great, so we've got stuff coming out here. All right, we've got a little. All right, and then we've got a tank. Okay, so aha, we have turned on the steam. Okay, so right now it's coming out here and going nowhere. So if we do that, now it's going this way and then going nowhere. So if we do this, it's now going up. Aha. We have opened that door that we still cannot get to. So that has done, oh, yes. And also this red box. This red box. All right. All right, what else can we get it to do? Ah! Oh, that's gone across now. Okay, but that's still barred. So, let's see. All right, this goes up there. Aha! So this is turned on this. Oh! Can't click it. Can't click it. Can't click it. Can't click it. Alright, which means do I need to stop? Hold on. Do I need to stop it when it's like now I've got another thing making steam. And it goes this way. Okay, right now I guess it is going up. Okay, but we need... Alright, we need that to go on. Or that to come down. Y'all, it's been so long since I solved this puzzle, because now... Alright, let's, hold up. Hold up, I got it. Okay, it's definitely going this way now. Okay, so if we turn it this way, we get that. Ta-da! Okay. This is a great thing because it's been so long since I've done a bunch of this. It's like solving it all over again. It's not even like solving it all over again. So, okay, we've got this guy. We can turn that on and make more steam. Ah, which opened that door. Okay, okay. And then there's this, which aha, opens these bars. Alright, 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 alright. And then let's go up here and see what this is. Okay, so this dink 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 is dead because it's not getting steam. It needs all the steams. Aha! It's now getting some steams, but that closes the door. But I think right now, I don't know, do we want, let's see. Let's go down. It's, yeah, this is, I'm not gonna lie, this was one where I had to like walk away from it for a bit and then come back. Okay, we need that to go across again. Oh wait, we want to try and get all the pipes going up there. Okay, so we need steam to go totally, absolutely forgetting what the heck I've done already. You gotta have like a fairly good working memory. Okay, see, I want you to go across because okay. All right, what's going on over here now? Nope, that's still half away. Because what? Because where? Because okay, I need. Okay, the side that this is on, I need it to come up here. Oh, God, that scared me. Thank you. Oh, I forgot what sounds I put with things. This is not the time to hear that. I'm like, what did I break? What have I broken? Okay, so we need the, okay, aha. We want it. That. What? Oh, but no, that's dead. Okay, which means I need this one? This one? Nope. Which one is the, yeah, that? Oh, wait. Have I, oh, dirt. Because I need that to go. I need it to open, to put the bridge out, but I also need it connected to that, right? So I think that's right. Oh, goodness. This eats all the brain power. Stuck on a post. Aha! That is all lit up. So, okay, we can do this. All right, so slide. Okay. All right. So is activated going that way. Okay. Is activated going that way. So you can activate basically one at a time. We want to go out that way, so we're going to want to have it go that way, and we need it to open the door. Now, do you see how it's glowing? When it has this glow to it, it means that there's power going to that room, right? If it is a room that can use power, because remember it's a power source, then stuff can happen. Now, I don't want to lose half of my steps, but I also hate to spin the gems. But let's spin the gems. Hey, welcome. That's Austin. I live in Austin, so I like the name Austin. It's good. I have met people who were born in Austin who was named Austin, and I'm like, well, I guess your parents really like it here. Okay, so can you see that this is powered? Right? So if you can, basically daisy chain rooms that need power. Then you can create some, okay, finally, a locked door, but we have a key. Okay, what? Okay, we no longer can, right now we have no gems, so we cannot do that. I still don't want to lose half of my steps. As much as I, you know, this room might be interesting because red rooms can be very big payoffs. I'm gonna play it safe, and I'm going to do this one. Now this one does not have ducks, so we cannot daisy chain off of this one, but it's got a lot of interesting stuff going on, right? We've got these chairs again. We've got more art. We've got a dancer. I had one of these little, like, music box things. There's a pawn again, but now it's the lampshade. Oh, something we can grab here. Always, always, always. This is your next big tip, right? Always. Check surfaces. Because the sleep mask is likely to appear in multiple rooms, right? You're not always going to get it. It's not always going to be in this room. It could be in any bedroom, but it might never get drawn, basically, in a run. And you never quite know where it's going to be. And you could easily miss things, easily. So make sure to check surfaces. So first time you enter each bedroom with the sleep mask, you gain 5 steps. So entering bedrooms will be good for us. Looks like a compass kind of thing. There's this. I always want this to like do something. All right, we've got stuff over here. Nothing. Oop, we can look at something. Okay. It's a picture. It's Christmas. It's this room. There is a tree in it, a bunch of presents. A present that's already been opened, and it's a safe. I love how the safe box is wrapped, and then they've separately wrapped the whatever that is called. I'm so good with safe parts. Okay, because the dress form is in here. All this is in here. This is definitely the room. Woo! Oh, it's definitely Christmas, and they've gotten this as a gift, and it's in this room. Alright, well, don't see it. Yeah. Ah! It is here. Okay, so this is it that we saw. Alright, it's another number code. So, like I said, with anything, a room, the spinny thing. The spinny thing. That's a pro speaking right there. Anytime there's a code or a puzzle or something like that, it could be in the room. It could be found elsewhere, right? We know it's numerical. Have we found anything that could be numerical? Is what we start thinking, right? On our notes. Because we know, so like the code to get into the computer starts with an S, and that's basically all we know at this point. Alright, are there clues that could be numbers in this room? So we tried to figure out if there were clues that were numbers when we were in the drawing room. This carpet, I swear, is the carpet that is rolled up in the storage room. Alright. I want to have some water. You have a sink. I've not had enough water today. I've been very, very bad at hydrating. I'm usually spectacular at hydrating. I just have so much water. Because I have to. But somehow today I've gotten incredibly far behind. Alright. Yes. Well, let's assume the 1, 2, 3, 4, right? It's the date. Alright, is this European or so it would be Yeah, 1225 or 2512. I can tell you that either one will work because it takes into account that Americans and Europeans are playing. I put it in the other way because there's so much. There's a holly leaf drawn on it. There's so much that feels very behind the Iron Curtain, Eastern European, that I just assumed everything was going to be European, but it turns out they accounted for people doing dates differently. All right, so we got another gem. That's good. And we've got this ominous red letter with the number 4 on it. Fantastic Four. I hear it's out. I hear it's pretty good. I want to go see it. I haven't yet. Herbert. I was distraught to learn that you have chosen to omit the details of our dear Marian's, that's our character's mother, in case you forgot, disappearance from the public record. It is no surprise to me that the royal court would want this embarrassment kept as quiet as possible, but I am shocked that you have so little regard for your niece that you would play the king's scullion and stoop to kissing the foot that treads upon her memory. She gave up her family, her fortune, and her life, and all you can do is think of your name. Having never had a family name nor fortune of my own, I cannot personally condemn you, and yet you are, for faltering in your commitment to make the same sacrifices she did. But for the love of God, do not, by that same display of weakness, clutch your petty assets so tightly that you undermine the cause that she forfeited everything to further. All right, we have now dipped our toe in lore. The lore in this game is wide and deep. And this is the next thing that I will tell you because it will kind of feel frustrating. I thought that the thing that you are kind of, I think, programmed at this point to think is that finding room 46 is the goal, the one goal. Everything in here is about how to find room 46. But then I started to get frustrated because I wasn't really getting any of the achievements, and I was like, I'm so far into this game and I'm getting no achievements. This is the little behind the curtain inside knowledge that I'll give you so that you don't get as flustered with the game or as fed up. Finding room 46 does take a bit of doing. Take some know-how, some puzzle solving, some real thinkiness. But honestly, finding room 46 is the beginning of the game. It opens up really the main part of the game. So this game is kind of in at least 2 distinct stages, if not 3. So don't get frustrated like I did, where I was trying to collect all of this lore before really making the push to find room 46, because it isn't necessarily necessary, if that makes sense. That's just a little thing I want to tell you that somebody told me, and that was what made me actually stop being frustrated with the game and really learn to love this game, fall in love with this game. All right, our countrymen must be made aware of the price she paid and must be made to see the color of the flag she flew as she rode into the darkness of 100 nights. Dun dun dun. Lore, what about Dana? Is that we're just gonna make all sorts of Star Trek references today, I guess. To deny her story is to deny her life. If through your silence you bless this betrayal, our son Simon, okay, so this is our dad writing this. Our son Simon, your heir, will inherit a fortune of lies and will spit upon your grave when he learns of your cursed foolishness. Needless to say, we will not be coming for Christmas this year. Daniel. Boop. Whoa. It just got like really, this is when I started uncovering stuff like this, right? Playing the game, because before it was like, all right, solving these little puzzles, like room by room, like whatever, trying to get to room 46. And then I realized that there was some big story. That's when my Meow Wolf brain started clicking over. All right, okay, well, this one is essentially a dead end. This one is essentially a dead end. This one we know is a dead end, and it could earn us 2 stars if we call it a day here. We don't have any money. We have not drafted anything where we need to use money, but this burns. Ugh, this is tough. I'm actually going to pick the pantry and use it a bit like a just dead end it. You'll see what it looks like when you dead in a room that otherwise would have an egress. Coffee. I recognize coffee stuff even if I'm not a coffee drinker. Egg timer. Lux coffee. So much coffee. Cheese grater. All right, we got money. There's money. And a banana. What does the banana do? Ah, it gives us some steps. Okay, so whenever we find some fruit, it does give us steps. There's different fruit, different amounts of steps. There's a thing to read. A rolling pin, flour, sugar. We can stay here and make cookies. Bridget, please pick up some more fruit before Friday, as we have just been informed that we may have an extra guest exploring the house next week. 50 steps should be more than enough, so I think an even spread would be ideal. 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges. The enclosed amount should cover expenses, but please bring back any change from the order and leave it in the pantry. All right. Has to do with the steps. Is the guest exploring us? What is the 5 apples, 5 bananas, 5 oranges? I like to eat. I like to eat. I like to eat apples and bananas and oranges. Oh, you're abandoning me to go watch Agatha Raisin? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I can't be mad at that. I love Agatha Raisin. That is a good show. I can't be mad. I can't be mad. Okay, let's continue this way, because I personally like to do as much horizontal building as possible. Hello. Woo! Okay, you are more likely to draw red rooms. That seems very ominous. This one ends up blocking... well, we haven't seen what the lavatory is yet. It is a red room, but it doesn't have a little thing down here. So we might risk it. Risk it for the biscuit. Although I guess if we were going to risk it for the biscuit, we should go back to the pantry and make those cookies. Let's go ahead and try it. Let's try it. Let's see what it is. Whoop! It's a bathroom. Okay. Toilet paper. The right way. I like how these rooms are a little in disrepair, right? This. Okay, so Herbert. So it's basically, okay, our uncles. We got more art. We've got a tub that we can't do anything with. Hot, cold. Can't open that. Can't open that. So this room appears to be literally a dead room with nothing. Talk about that later. Okay. So let us then okay, let's just go ahead and keep going out the passageway. Okay. right, we got a locked door. Let's go this way. What do we got? Ooh, a laboratory. I love a laboratory. That looks fun. Let's go in there. What's a laboratory? I know it is. I just want to show you guys. I want to show you guys all the cool stuff. We would have to play for so long for me to show you just all the cool things that are in this game. Oops, something we can read, but I'm gonna wait just a second because there is so much that goes on in the laboratory. Again, with the people leaving half-drunk coffee out, though, how long has it been sitting there? A week at this point, right? There's just stuff everywhere. This is what my spaces look like. I'm not gonna lie. At least they cleaned that stuff up, I guess. No, there's still stuff in here. That's fantastic. Alright. Something to read here. Alright, well, let's see. Okay, heating and cooling curves. Water melting point. Okay, so this is room temperature, complete thaw. The melting point is ice. Okay, test 205 at atmospheric pressure 93 kPa. I don't know. In Mount Holly freezer. So we know that there's a freezer somewhere. The lab technician is Randolph Ilm. Remember, I told you just go ahead and keep writing down all the people that right here. Dee Dee, get out of my laboratory. Okay. Cool. Cool. Something about heating and cooling. Periodic table of elements. It's a periodic table of elements. Who spent, with missing things? Who spent way too much time in chemistry class, making words out of the periodic table of elements? Just me? And my ADHD? Alright. It's cool that you can't interact with anything. I keep wanting to put things on here. All these like little, like where they drew big close-ups of chemical compounds. Art! At least there's some art. And art. That means this should be a second one. Second one. Second art. There it is. There it is. Go that. And that. And then all this. And then, ooh, a periodic table of elements. With all the elements missing, but there's numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I had a real my chemistry teacher wasn't like boring, but I do think I would have done much better in a class that was more engaging, for sure. Okay, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and guess that it means that we need to figure out what the letters are, right? So this is where you might want to like take a screen cap, put it up on another screen, and work through that puzzle. I should have it in here, actually. Question is, where in my copious notes did I put it? Oh, it's gonna be... That's okay, it's fine. I have no idea where I put it. My problem is my notes are now a terrible mess. I didn't really start taking notes. When I first started, I took like kind of too many notes. I was a little too detailed. I know it's in here. Where the heck? Where did I put it? Oh, okay. This will just, that's fine. Take forever. That's fine. I don't want to do that. Yeah. It's the element of surprise. Correct. Very good. Okay, so I like you have to do okay, one, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? So so like the bottom 6 over is 1, 2 is whatever, 2 down, 4 over, right, is 2, 3 is hydrogen. So we can go. This is where I took a screen cap. I can't really do that with you guys over there, though. It was a little hard. But we could do, okay, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So PU 2 was like, okay, S, then H. Ooh, that's a word. That's push. Right? Push. And then 4 is this one, and 5 is that one. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then up. So 4. We can do 4 and 5. Everybody remember where that is. So PHRE. Blah blah blah, and what we find out is it says push 3, then 9. Okay. That would make it make more sense. So 3 and 9. What does this say? This machine requires additional power piped in from the boiler room. We are so lucky. So lucky. It took me so many runs. Because I figured that out, right? So now you have 3 before 9, and then you figure that, and then you read that. But of course I hadn't attached it to the boiler room, hadn't figured out the boiler room thing, hadn't figured out that you have to power down each side of the like, it took me so many runs before I figured out how to have the boiler room power come into this room, right? So then we have this one. I typically work over at Cinca Labs, but got sent over here for a month to assist more. That's, remember, what was his name? Something M. Roger Moore. That's not it. I think I need some help. For the past 3 days, I have been unable to find the laboratory on this state. Today was the first success on that front. Can anyone tell me if this is typical, and if so, how do you get any work done? Before I arrived, I was briefed on the way the doors work, but I must admit, I did not expect to be excluded from my new workstation for the first week. Any tips from my fellow technicians would be appreciated. Kimberly Dawson. Yeah, this is things that I think all the time, because you'll like draft the nursery off of the dining room, or like what happens if you don't draft the nursery? Like, weird, you just knock it to your kid for a full day? All right. Hold on, is it 3 before or 3 after 9? I have totally forgot now. Push 3. So we need 7 is this one. 7, 8. Right, 7 and 8. Gotta go, so 7 is 3 over 8's over there. Already remember. Just because I have now forgotten what it is. 3. I forgot already. 3. Yep, see, sometimes my working memory is terrible. Okay, 7 is the third one in. 9, 3, and 2 up. Okay. The third one in P. And then third one in this one? P-A-T-E. Is that right? That doesn't seem right. Boop. The other thing is, if you don't want to sit there and do it, people have solved these. They've put them online. You can always like go, like look. Oh, because I'm an idiot. It's 8 and then 9. All right, 7 is this one. Then 8 is this one. 9 is that one. Okay. Nope, forgot it already. All right, so, all right. P-A. F-T-E. Then it's going to be E-R, right? E-R. That's 9. So then 10 and 11 and then 12. Right, is it? What was it? Okay. 10 and 11? Yeah. 10, 11, 12. This is one, right? So LR. I have not been writing it down. Anybody? YB. NE. Hold up. That's no, because that's not right. Because this should be definitely 9. But is it after? I think it's after 3 after 9. I think it's 3 after 9. Ugh. If I were properly doing this, we'll be fine. 9. Then 3. Yay! Okay. My tea still tasting vaguely of coffee. You've done a cool. Ooh! This is outside on the ground. A secret door has opened. Alright, the Blackbridge Grotto has been powered and permanently unlocked. So we have permanently changed the state of the game. Each day you may access one offline terminal from the network. Permanent changes do not reset. Alright, so that's another tip that I will give, is that when you can do anything like adding an allowance or changing something, the state of the game in any way, do that. Try to do that. Oh, you're gonna make me drink my slightly coffee flavored tea again? Alright, cheers to you, cheers to me, cheers to the stream. Woo! Alright, let's see what the laboratory has for us. Ooh, an experiment. I love an experiment. Okay. In the laboratory, you are free to experiment by testing and combining different mechanics to create an original and unique house feature that will last until the end of the day, okay? Alright, so get column A, column B. So you get to pick one of column A, one of column B. So it's a cause and an effect. So we could immediately set our steps to 40, which would gain us more steps. Immediately set dice to 2. We have no dice. We don't know what dice do. Or add 3 aquariums to today's draft pool. We don't know why aquariums might be important or not important. Or we could combine whenever you spend 2 or more gems drafting a room. I don't think that's gonna, because we're having a hard time keeping gems. I don't think that's a good pick. When you draft a hallway from another hallway, we've already drafted a few hallways, so I don't know that we have enough left. So immediately is probably our best bet here. I would love to, this is actually where I would probably set my steps to 40, but I want to show you the dice mechanic. So I'm going to choose immediately set our dice to 2. Hit combine, start experiment, and you'll now see that there we go. We now have dice. 2 dice. Effective immediately, electronic mail can only be accessed via the security terminal. It says. It's very Frankenstein. Okay, so let's see. Let's actually, I'm gonna see if we can do this from here. Let's go try to do off the boiler room. Oh wait, we need to turn that on. So let's go back here, and now it's going that way. Because if you try to draft without it activated, or if when you draft with it activated, you're more likely to draft rooms or pull rooms that need the power. Okay. Ooh, archives. While drafting, you will no longer be able to see all 3 of your potential floor plans. Alright, it's a great, though, it's got a lot of egresses, but just so you guys can see the mechanic, I'm actually going to roll the dice. I would probably pick the archives. I feel like this risk is okay. Here, and this is honestly would be a great room. I'm gonna play it. You can see it. That's fine. Okay, so power comes through here. There's a lot going on in this room. There's a table with stuff on it. There's a bunch of filing cabinets which all look like they could use keys. There's a bunch of binders. There's art again. There's more art that we are definitely taking note of in our notebook. Remember that I have already played this game, and I have already put a bunch of stuff in my notebook. So that's why I'm not taking the time to do it here. But when you are playing, please take notes. Take good notes and put them in your notebook. Okay. Let's go. Again, I like to try and go horizontal before going vertical. So let's see what we can get out this door. All right, we got a utility closet with a breaker box. And again, because we've now made it so that we will not see one of our drafted pools. We cannot afford the kitchen, so we don't know what the breaker box is, what it's going to do, but it is a dead end, and it will also dead end us out of the West Wing Hall, but we don't know what this will do. So we can risk it for the biscuit. We could check out the utility closet, or we could re-roll. Let's re-roll just for the funsies of it. Okay, so we've got a couple other things. We cannot afford the patio. We have the furnace again, which is you're more likely to draw red rooms while drafting. Again, it is a dead end, so we're kind of stuck in the same thing. And then we have an archive floor plan. We don't know what it is. I'm going to choose the archived floor plan for funsies. I know what happens when you draft this with power, and it is... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this because I know what it's going to do, and I feel like we need it. So we'll do this, even though we're going to draw more red and also only be able to see 2. This is very risky. It's getting very, very risky now. Getting this key will only happen if there's power to this room. Smart. So, but it is a dead end, and there doesn't really seem to be a lot that you can do. That's kind of it. Okay. So now let's try this door. But we do have a key now. You see that we are radiating heat. And that is because we're very close to the furnace. So we're both glowing and radiating. We have like that glow because we are powered by the boiler room, and we're hot because we are close to the furnace. I cannot afford either one of these, so we could risk it, but this could lock us in entirely. So I'm actually gonna re-roll. We cannot afford the aquarium. I don't know what this is. I'm gonna go ahead and play this one. Even though we're going to lose, because we're getting very near the end of the stream anyway. So let's go ahead and play this. It continues our daisy chain of being able to power rooms. Now, this is the first time we're seeing security doors. There's another clock, and it has that same symbol that the ones in the den have. So there may be something about this room and the den together. So another thing is you start to learn about room synergies is... Oh, there's something we can pick up. It is a broken lever. Lever, if you say lever. And we've got more art, which we take note of in our notebook. Got a punching bag. Okay, so we've got these 2 security doors and a regular door. Now, I would like to remember my rule is go horizontal before you go vertical. So let's go this way first. Now we can't click it like we do a regular door, but we do happen to have a key card. Okay. Garage gives us 3 keys, but we cannot afford that, and I hate that because I would love to have more keys. Let's try, since this is a kind of a dead-end area anyway, let's risk an archived plan. I'd really love to find some keys. Okay, so this is the dark room. And here's what happens in the dark room. When you enter it, the lights will go out and everything is outlined like this. There is a couple ways around this problem with this room, but we don't have any of those solutions currently going for us. So right now we can't see. There is stuff to look at in this room. This room has a lot of stuff, has a lot of lore, some hints, and always has at least one item in here. But you cannot see or pick up any of those things while the lights are off. So we're just SOL on this run for that. Also, you can't actually see what you're drafting at all. You thought it was bad with one in the vanilla folder. So we cannot draft whatever this is because we are out of gems. This tells us how common the thing is. So I don't know if you can see this, the number of dots. So let's risk a fairly common room, see what we get. Oh, remember we found the thing that talked about the billiard room and about it having a math puzzle. We got some more art, which we take note of. We got these balls that chalk. Balls we can't really do anything with. All right, we've got this like dry bar, not a wet bar, it's a dry bar, but we can't do anything with that. Now, it did tell us that it was a dart puzzle and that it was mathematical. So this seems like what we're looking for. I can't pick up the darts, but I can hit the dartboard. Okay, so this, I'm going to show you how to do it now because I'm going to be kind. I really struggled with this puzzle. even knowing, like, even kind of understanding, like, that it was math or, like, whatever, I really, really struggled to understand it, and it was incredibly frustrating, and I ended up looking up a hint online. This is my other tip. This is another tip. Don't let this game get so frustrating. If you literally, like, if you try and you're just banging your head against a brick wall, walk away from a puzzle. Realize you don't have to solve it this round, this iteration, this day. Come back to it. Walk away from it and come back to it, because sometimes your brain will have learned, like, one, you might have learned something new in another room that could help you. Two, it might just be one of those, you've got to break out of that pattern of thinking that you're in and come back to it fresh. But if you find that even after doing that, you're still banging your head against a brick wall, just go get a hint or a solution online. Don't let it completely stymie you. So we've got it pointing this way, and we can hit the numbers, and it just is this. So, okay. All right. So that was just 14, but now we have 2, and it says 5 and 7. 5 and 7. So maybe it's 7 minus 5. All right, it goes back to 14. Okay. So it's 5 and it's 7. Maybe I add it, right? So that would be 12. Now it changes the state of the board again. So 18 and 4, but now it's a different color. So 18 and 4. If I assume that what I did before, where I tried to subtract it and tried to add it, if I tried to add, there is not a 22. So let's try 14. Okay. Okay, so what do you think this one is? So we've got the blue facing the 20 and the yellow, right? And it seems to be this inner circle, this circle, this circle, this circle. Making y'all do math. All right, so let's assume, because it was subtraction before and it was yellow, so let's assume it's subtraction again. Okay, but now we have pink. Okay, so now it's 5 and something with pink. So when we had blues, when we had just the 5 and the 7, and they were both blue, we added them together. On the 2 where we had a blue and a yellow, we ended up subtracting them. Well, this is not blue and this is not yellow. So, I mean, we can assume that it is either going to be multiplication or division, right? I don't, like, this isn't going to divide evenly, so let's assume that pink is multiplication. Okay. So now we have 15, and we've learned that yellow means subtract. So now we have 15 minus 11. So that's 4. And now we know that pink means multiply. So that would be 4 times 3, which is 12. Yeah, this is... Honestly, it took me, once I looked at the hints and I realized what was happening, I could have kicked myself. But my brain is not as strong at, like, doing math puzzles or thinking mathematically, so it just, like, this did not occur to me. It just didn't. And I think that's why, 'cause some people are going to find some puzzles harder or easier just based on how their brain goes. And because this game has so many different kinds of puzzles, it's got a little something for everybody, but that means that, you know, you're going to struggle with some and some are going to be easy for you, whereas somebody else might have it completely reversed. I will tell you that as you get higher in levels, this puzzle and the parlor room get harder and harder, and the two, those which seem like okay, like in the beginning, start to get real hard and you start to hate them a bit. All right, so okay, yeah, we can go this way. Ooh, goodness. We haven't got a lot. Oh, we can't even buy this anyway. Let's try this. Let's just at this point we're kind of locked in. Okay. Well, we get some steps back because one of the mask, and then also some bananas. Okay, we're in the bunk room. It's got a pet. I love this guy. And he got a bunk bed, like there's bunk beds here. We got this lamp, we got some trophies, we got more art, and Camp Colonel for people who watched, hello. Colonel, there's like this like BB gun and a drum, this little like built a fire and a tent. If I've got enough steps, I'll take you to see what this is about. There's weights under here, and if you'll remember, we've seen the weight room. There, a lot of the things in this room. So there was a telescope here. Like this is the base for a telescope, which isn't in here. This is a reference to something. There, we've got our chess pieces again, or is our pawns. Games. So remember that games is a big thing. So we've got a lot of games. We've got the Tinsdale Mystery, the Turtles of Vera. You got some checkers and some stuff, and there's that rocking horse. Remember, we found the rocking horse in the storage, and then we found the little one in the parlor. So we've got this bed, and then there's a bed up there. There's like a Rubik's Cube type thing under there. Remember the laboratory, and we've got a little microscope here, and then we've got a book. Today is a good day because Simon is at camp and he is not as much fun as my friends. I will not have to share my toys, and I will not have to share my room, and I will not have to share my snacks. Now, our name is Simon, so it could be that this is referring to us. Having a younger brother is not as much fun as they told me it would be, but today will be a good day because he is at camp. Now, as far as we know from all this, we're an only child. And if we're the younger brother, it would be odd that why are we getting the house and not the other brother? So we're not sure. Is this Simon us, or is that a different Simon? Herbie is mean and really stupid, and today is a good day because I threw away his airplane. All right, Herbie. So we know our uncle is named Herbert, so this is probably Herbie. So I'm thinking Simon is a family name, and Simon is also the name of Herbert's brother. I also had more fun at camp than he has had in his entire life. Very important to write it very, very giant. So two brothers who clearly loved each other very, very much. Never argued. Ever. Now, if you're wondering the math on the steps, if we go, this room counts as 2 bedrooms. So we got 10 instead of 5 is why that happened. Okay, we have 1 egress over here. So let's go back. And it's this way, right? And see what we can do. Is that right? Yeah. All right. Let's see what we can do out this door. Okay. Well, this could get us up. This gets us out. Also, each day a meal is served in the dining room after rank 8 is reached, and we have reached rank 8. Billiard room and bunk room are on the 8th line, so we would be able to have a meal, whatever that means. I know what it means, but so let's go see what that means, because we've accomplished this task, so it might be worth seeing what the game gives us. All right. Okay, so this is another room with a fireplace, and this one's on. We've got a deer on, which is kind of reminiscent of what we just saw in the bunk room. Let's see. This looks like the shelves that were in the nook. We've got more art. Right, more of this art. Another pawn. But it doesn't seem like we can interact with T-set. That we can interact with any of this. There's another clock. But it doesn't have the symbol for the ones that we've seen before. We can't seem to interact with these, but we can eat a fish. All right, it says, if we'll get 20 steps if we draft the aquarium, we can get 30 steps. So we could risk it, not eat, and then see if we draft. But we remember that it costs gems, and we don't have gems right now, so we might as well just go ahead and eat. But that's something to keep in mind when you're trying to balance your step count and everything else. Okay, so this is it. We still can only go this way. Woof! Oh, a workshop. Okay. I mean, combine inventory to create new items. Let's go see what that is. One thing about the workshop is you will always get an item. There will always be an item on this table. But it could be any number of things. So now also in here we've got this piece of music with the number 8. It's got the number 8 at the top. It's got some lyrics. And this word message is bold. Alright, so this seems like it might be part of a puzzle. This does not seem like it is a complete puzzle. So this might be where you take note of it or take a screen cap of it so that you can reference that later. But because it's got the number 8, so that tells us there's probably at least 7 other of these, but it's gonna something message. We'll see. And then we've got this carved L there. And we do have some art. I love the flan. We've got this picture on the wall that it's the parlor boxes. The true box does not always contain the prize. So this is what I mean. That is not told to you in the parlor. It's not till you get to this room that little bit is divulged to you, so that you want to really be checking rooms and seeing how they might relate to give hints for other rooms. Okay, so we've got this table, and you can see we can interact with it. Workshop, combine inventory to create new items. Okay, so we have a sledgehammer, a battery pack, running shoes, a key card, sleeping mask, and a broken lever. So we can click things. Okay, so the sledgehammer and the battery pack create something. The sledgehammer and the broken lever make something, right? Okay, if I click this, so you can see it's green, but if I do this, it turns red. That means it doesn't do it. So if I do battery, okay, and it says I can do something else, but that's red, that's red, that's red, but this is green. So we can see about combining those, and then it says it gives us a power hammer, and we can assemble it. Play around with it. I kept sticking with very simple stuff, like 2 things that would go together, not grokking that it would allow me to do 3 things. Also, remember to pick it up. It is on this table, and I have walked out of this room so many times without grabbing the thing I made. What is it? A circuited power hammer, a stronger sledgehammer that can also knock down weaker brick walls. Okay, so that's because some places it might seem like something's up with the wall. Like there might be a hidden, something hidden behind it. A hidden door, a hidden whatever. Okay, well, let's try this because that gives us the best options. We have a lot of steps. I was really worried. We got down quite low. But now we are getting more going for us. Okay, I like to fill down just in case, because we're less likely to encounter here's our art. We're less likely to encounter locked doors if we go down. I say that and then that happens. I don't know that it's worth, if that's going to be locked, we might as well go north and use our keys going north. Well, if we do that, we're done. If we do this, we lose 2. We can't afford that, so really, let's do this. Okay. We've lost 2. Okay, we got art, some basketballs. So you remember we found the basketball in the guest bedroom. All right, I don't see it. I love that it makes the squeaky, like the squeak of a shoe on the floor when you come in here. All right. I don't see any of these like weak wall things that it mentioned. We're gonna go do this. Because again, like I said, horizontal first. All right, we can't afford this. This dead ends us. So let's do the archive because it's a gamble. Aha. All right, it is a bedroom, so we got 5 more steps out of it. It says it's the maid's chamber. Again, if we tab, it'll tell us less likely to find items lying around the house. So that means now we are not as likely to find any coins or keys or any of the items, any of the inventory things. They've basically been sort of cleaned up. We're not going to find them now. And you'll see we'll always, if you have an experiment going, it'll be here. You have your information on how your basically your day stats, but behind my head is a big button that says call it a day, and above that is the number of stars that you currently have, and here it tells you what your permit. So we've opened the Blackbridge Grotto. You'll see there's other things. There's a place here for a room that is not inside the house. But yeah, so this is a great kind of HUD of information. All right, so let's look and see. Okay, I love this goose. First of all, let's just all appreciate this little Christmas goose. More art and something to read. Staff notice. The day we all dreaded has finally arrived. It is with unprecedented sadness that we inform you of the death of our benefactor, employer, and master, the Baron of Mount Holly, H.S. Sinclair. Any staff who have an interest in attending services may contact Mrs. Babbage for details. Remember, we've encountered her name before. In following the instructions left by the Baron himself, effective immediately, all work at Mount Holly is suspended. All live-in staff will have 1 month paid leave and must vacate the premises by Friday, November the 6th. Mrs. Babbage. So this is the maid's chamber. You can see there's some, so if you remember in the chapel, we saw the maid angel, who, you know, had a mop or a broom or something. So it's kind of seems to be somewhat referring to that. We've got, there's the maid's uniform, another, I didn't blank on what these are called. We've got, okay, something we can look at here. And there's also, there's that maid angel that I was talking about, and it says M-I-L-A, so Mila or Mila on it. Cinca, we've heard that. That was the laboratory. I used to work at Cinca Laboratories. And then we've got this picture of a bunch of people, right? So we have this seated woman here, a maid, another maid, what looks like a driver, and a couple of gentlemen. This guy, he's wearing like a coat, looks like he may be like a gardener, and we've got some other people here as well, but there's no names, no date or anything like that, but this is another thing you'd want to take note of. We've only got 1 key left, so here we go. Okay. Well, we can't afford either of these, so it'll be the planetarium. And if we call it a day there, then we'll gain 2 stars. So right now we have 1 plus 2 means the next time we have the observatory, there will be 3. We now, unless there's like a key in here, we will not have a key to be able to open that locked door. And yeah, it doesn't, we can walk, can't go down there. We can walk down here, but there doesn't seem to be anything here either, but there is some paper here that we can look at. All right, so you remember the book we found, and that had everything up to 20, but this goes further. So this goes, it tells you everything that you can get, and it shows you that it starts to combine them. So you might get the key and the sail, right? Slice, the farmer's apple, and Diamondus Major. And then there's some special cases here. So basically it's like, don't overlook the observatory. It will get you things, right? And if you want to be surprised about what it's going to give you, then, you know, don't necessarily have to take note of that or the book or keep track. But if you want to be keeping track so you can use that to your advantage, then that is an option. Okay, so here's the dealio. Yeah, that is locked. That is locked, and we have no keys. So we know we can no longer move through. We can no longer move through the building, but we do have enough steps now that we can go outside. And if you remember, by solving the one puzzle in the laboratory, we also remember what I said about check, like when you go back through rooms, check, because there are things that you can do, drafting rooms, that reset a state of rooms that you have been in already. And so there may be things that like there might be food in here, for instance, or there might be a new item in here. So don't just breeze through it and figure you've seen it already. You know it, it's not important. And that goes for different days that you're drafting stuff too. The rooms might be different. And I want to point out, because it's on our mind because we were in the workshop, right? It said about the walls, right? And you can see that wall looks like it's been patched up, right? And you'll see that now that we have the power hammer, that when we get close, we can use it. This took me very, very long to find my first time through. So we're lucky that we actually got the workshop and those 3 items, and I can show you this. Y'all just lucking out today. All right. Okay. So it's got a hidden little room back here. All right. So the destruction of structural elements of the house, like walls, is not permanent and will reset every few days, it says. And then we've got the 8-something to hour, and then part of a map, and it says catacombs, and there's a bunch of numbers, and there's water, and there's something that looks like a lift or something. Something going on, basically. But it's part of a map, not the whole map. But again, that's something, take a picture of, put it in your notes. And then we've got this. Remember I told you the antechamber is the room before room 46. There are only a handful of places where you can find levers, and they open different doors. The red shows you which door it has opened. Now, if I open this, you'll see we cannot get to the antechamber because there's no way out of here to get to there. We have no way out of these rooms to get there. But right now, technically, that door is open. So, had we found this before and that it was opened, we might have chosen different rooms to try and make a pathway there. But we have only found it now. It will reset the next day, right? So just because I've opened it this time around does not mean that it will always be open. Okay, we need to go. This is where it gets fun. Okay, we need to go through the archives to the boiler room. What's the fastest way? Hang on. Archives, boiler room, hall, corridor. I guess it doesn't matter. We can go. Oof. Yeah, we want to go down the West Wing hall, right? So we want to go archives, boiler room. We forgot to look in here. Hold on, while we're here, because I forgot to show you something. This desk, I completely forgot. This desk has this scrapbook in it, and it has these dates, and it's Marigold wins Herald Literary Honor. Popular children's writer Marion Marigold, remember our mom's name is Marion, adds yet another feather to her scholastic cap when she discovered on Thursday that her picture book, Swimbird, has been chosen as the Herald Literary Medal Illustrated Book of the Year. Do you remember when we were in the storage room and we found the picture of the little bird in his swimsuit? This is Marigold's second time winning this prestigious honor. The previous medal was, of course, for her debut effort. She was no stranger to the public eye even before her literary success. The niece and closest living relation of Baron, or Uncle H.S. Sinclair, Mary began using Marigold as a pen name to free her from the political associations that one might make with the Sinclair family. And then we jump ahead to the next year. Swinburne author never considered herself success. She confided, "My son was the only one that actually got me to start writing. I had always challenged myself to never tell him the same story twice at bedtime. And so, as we ran out of books we owned, my imagination had to take over from there." Which I think is a great, actually, allusion to this game, that it's never the same twice. I thought that was really a really nice element. Marigold has elaborated in previous interviews that her debut, Red Prince, is based on her son and his inflexible love of the color red. A statement that has been held with much skepticism by the many pundits that viewed that book as a rather thinly veiled political critique of the Royalist Party and their unwavering blind loyalty to the throne. So remember I told you that there's some deep lore and there's something very dark going on that we are uncovering that has to do with our family, it has to do with our mother. But it also has that very behind the Iron Curtain feel to it. Yeah, that continues. Okay, so later that same year, so almost a year later, publisher and author detained by Red Guard questioned. Caleb Manning and his publisher Philip White were 2 of 3 dozen names that appeared on a leaked dossier naming them a person of interest in the Trinsdale bombing that killed 4 people last Tuesday. So Trinsdale we saw on the game in the bunk room. Although no group has come forth to officially take responsibility of the attack, it is widely believed by authorities to be the work of the insurgent group RLCF, and that's in bold. For some reason, who also call themselves the Children of Blackwater. Ruffington Press was quick to dismiss the rumors in a statement released on Friday, maintaining that the popular author and Mr. White were simply victims of an unfortunate happenstance, whatever that means. This would not be the first time that the publishing house has defended a rogue employee. 3 years ago, an associate editor with the company was arrested for criminal conspiracy, though the charges were later dropped. All right, and then November, so this was November 11th, then November 17th, Marigold drops publisher. Local author and popular personality Marion Marigold has announced a split with her long-term publishing partner Ruffington Press, citing personal reasons. The announcement came after the arrest last week of fellow author and colleague Caleb Manning, whom Marigold has past referred to as her mentor, friend, and confidant. Marigold is the 3rd prominent writer to distance themselves from the publisher this week. So Manning and White at a press function, so that's them, was seen, and then it just random thing starts mid-sentence, was seen at the corner, suspicious bag under, waved down a local. This is the 3rd major last year. It is anticipated. Charged by the Crown. Manning was the last. The trial begins on Tuesday. Expected to last up to with grand treason. So you have clipped out just the middle bit of something. And now in February of the following year, no trace is discovered of Cinca heiress, but search continues. Mary Matthew Jones, the author and illustrator whose fanciful stories are written under the pen name Marion Marigold, was last seen by a close friend around 3:45 p.m. Friday getting into a carriage after a late luncheon date at the 100 Bells Tea Room in Trinsdale. Mrs. Jones never arrived home and the carriage driver cannot be located. Family and local authorities are very concerned but have not deemed the case foul play. It's an out-of-character incident at this point, and we are seeking information. All right, so that was in February of 87, then it just says September 2nd, but no year. Priceless jewels stolen in dramatic Royal Museum heist. Thieves in the royal capital of Finn Ares have broken into. So we've been in Reddington. Now we know something is Finn Ares, Trinsdale. So we're learning these places. We're learning people, and it's important to start drawing connections, figuring out who these people are, how they're related, what they're doing, what's happening. Have broken into one of the Crown's fabled closed exhibits. These lavish rooms have historically been reserved exclusively for the use of the aristocracy and high peerage, and access has never been granted to those outside noble circles. At least not until today, as local police and forensic experts have been spotted in virtually every corner of the museum grounds, dredging for clues. The museum authority said they were alerted in the middle of the night by reports of several masked intruders seen breaching the south wall and brandishing firearms. The intruders broke into the museum, subdued the royal guard, and disabled the security system. By the time the militia arrived on the scene, the burglars had simply vanished. Although an official registry of the lost jewels has not been publicly announced, among the treasured artifacts rumored to be stolen is the renowned ruby crown of Orinda Ares. Now we have Orinda Ares, the priceless crown jewel whose material worth pales in comparison to its historic value. If these rumors are true, the evidence may suggest that the theft was politically motivated. So yeah, this is very deep lore here in the archives, and it's quite ominous. Okay, we are going boiler room. I'm going to go to the boiler room, and then from the boiler room we need to go to the west wing hall. Right, so yeah, west wing hall, then down corridor into the courtyard. Just make sure. I'm just running through, and I should be looking. Remember, we're looking for like places we can bust down the wall. I'm just running through. Okay, that's a dead end, so we can't go that way. Nothing do here. Nothing do here. Room whose puzzle we are still puzzled by. And I don't think we have anything yet to help us understand what is happening, so that remains closed. That is dead end, so that's no good. Gonna lose money. Nothing in here seems to have changed, and that is where we came in. That when you see that, that's the entryway. All right, since we are basically, my husband has already come in and shown me that he has made dinner. All right, we have been walking around so long that it is now nighttime outside, but let's explore the outside. So we're on the grounds. We've left the house. Right, there's the house. Nice. We've got a gate that goes somewhere, but it is blocked. So we cannot get into that gate just yet. I do like this because I love a liminal space. I love a portal. We've got birds. We've got this fountain, and we can make a wish. Nothing happened. Something did happen, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. Okay. Okay, there's this way. Let's go down this way. So we've got the stairs down here. All right, we've got, we can break this. So this is a place that we can use that. I would, if I hadn't already played the game, or and I wasn't getting on towards getting my dinner, Yes, I would have tried out the courtyard. I'll give you a hint, it's not. But when I got it, I did try many places that were not places to break. Scripps and Rudford Mining Company, Excavation Department, Foreman's Log, 289, date 1917. Okay, so excavation progress is going smoothly and crew spirits are higher than they have been in weeks. I believe this increase in morale is in no small part due to the installation of the boiler. We've been to the boiler room, which has honestly been a godsend. We now have steam power and no longer have to rely on raw muscle to scrape and heave at the clay like dogs. The new steam power hoists and winches are fully operational, and we have been able to unearth over 5 times as much sediment per shift as we had been previously excavating. And then we've got this Finn Aries Patent Office. There's that Finn Aries again. Scripps and Rufford Mining Company patent for high pressure condenser. This looks very much like stuff that we saw in the boiler room. Steam line to boiler, okay. Remote power box. Steam line to HPC, whatever HPC is. And then some numbers. So this again would be take a note or take a picture. Oh, thank you for joining me. Have a great trip to the store. All right. I'm opening a can of worms here. All right. So we get to break down this, and that takes us to the basement. So now we are in the basement. I am not going, because like I said, I am over my usual time already, and my dinner is waiting for me. But I want you to know that this is a puzzle room. Do you see these things right here? Right? You can move them around, right? And as you can see, you can use them. So there's also like this one, which you can move, but you can also move up and down, right? When we came in, we ran by this, so let me try. Like, there's this, you can get up, right? But then I can't get past there, right? I can't make that, there's no jump. So you can see where you are going to use these pallet lifts to move them around to be able to solve a puzzle that's in this room. But there's a bunch of stuff in here. There's the statue, and you'll remember the statue was in the chapel. We've got this one, which is quite interesting, who seems to be pointing at or trying to grab this. We've got pieces of furniture and stuff that we've seen in other parts of the house. This is the clock, the same clock that we saw in the den, but this is stopped, right? So is that something, right? There's more just like bits and bobs. This one, like, you have this, but you can't get to it, right? But probably you can go back there. So I could spend the time to do this puzzle, but it's one of those ones where I solved it once, and then I wrote down the solution, but it was so messy the way I had written it down. So I go back and I find the tutorial on YouTube. Basement door locked, so we don't have a key to get in there, but there's a way that goes somewhere, right? But there doesn't seem to be like any other areas where we can use our power hammer. Okay, so I could do it like if this were, you know, me doing like a proper run, then I would spend the time to do that puzzle. Okay, we've got pipes here that do something, and we've got, holy crapola, like what the heck, there's more stuff under this mountain, because there's the, right, something going on over there. There's this huge river, something. It's really pretty. Look at that. It's so pretty. We can go this way. But it is very dark in here. It is very dark. Ah, there's torches, but we cannot light them. So we cannot see anything in here right now, but we have found this, so we know there's probably something up with this room, but it is too dark. So much like the dark room where we cannot interact with anything or see anything because it's too dark, we have the same problem here. So if we ever encounter something that allows us to turn those torches on, then we want to make sure to come back and check out that space. So like going back and revisiting things to see, you know, if you have something that would help, trying to remember what you might need. This is the door we opened, but I'm going to save that until we can come back. So this goes around to a gate, and this gate is locked. We can't get through it. It goes to the back part of the property. We have to, do you remember I told you in the bunk room, in the boys' room, they had the tent and the campfire? So that's an homage to this area right here. And you can come all the way out here. It tells you about calling it a day, basically. So basically it's when you have done everything you feel like you can, or you've run out of steps, then you call it a day. So when you're walking around here, you see these dead trees. I mean, that's something that's kind of hard to miss, I guess. So stuff like this, always assume that something odd like this has some kind of meaning, has some kind of purpose, because the game does a lot of that. It's not just going to be the ambiance or whatever. If it's something kind of obvious like this, then there's something going on. Now there's nothing, it seems like there's nothing we can do about it right now, but maybe there'll be more clues, or we'll find something that will make it obvious what we're supposed to do with that. This is an outside space, the orchard. We can't get in because there's a lock. And again, it's another code with digits, but we don't know yet. We haven't found anything that might give us an idea of what that might be. And this is kind of the end of the property that you can go to. You can't, it won't let you go back there. And then if we go this way, you'll see there's another secret entrance somewhere that is doors that cannot be accessed. So probably, just like with the other one, we need to solve a puzzle, do something else somewhere else on the grounds or in the house, whatever, to open that one. All right, so this is where we enter Blackridge Grotto. And this is where I will in the stream. So it's clearly a bank of supercomputers. There's screens, but we can't really access. But there's this note. I00 or 1100. Doesn't seem to be any place that I can use. There's this dead terminal, like this part's dead. There's this thing in the middle. You can take this out. It tells me this is a small data microchip. Looks like it might be able to be plugged in somewhere. Right? So there's clearly at least maybe 2 more. And maybe that will turn those on, but it seems to be something to do with this door. And there's another terminal here. So, like there was one in the laboratory and one in security. So this one is in Blackbridge. So Blackbridge Network Administrator Controls, admin key. We don't know it yet. We don't know the admin key, but this computer does something. It's gonna do something if we can figure out the admin key. So you can see that this is full of secrets. Like we didn't even open, so let me show you. Let me pull up the rooms, the directory. So you can see, this will show you the rooms that we drafted. This is our first day. This is it. These are the rooms that we have drafted. And you can see how many rooms we didn't draft. How many rooms we didn't even really see, that didn't even pop up for us. We saw some shops, but we didn't draft any. We got all the red rooms today, which I find pretty impressive. I feel like that should be just all the red rooms on day 1. We found one plan, but there's still, as you can tell, there's going to be more, and we're missing things. We're missing plenty of things, and it seems like maybe that there should be other sections that we don't even have yet. So the lore is very deep. The game is very detailed, very integrated. It will not be a, play it for 10, 20, 30 hours and have finished it. And like I said, it's really got some distinct stages in it. And it doesn't really matter kind of how long you put off getting to room 46, but there's some benefits to doing it later. So, you can play the game however you want. And if you're kind of not happy with the way, if you would like to make some changes, feel free to start another run. Whatever. I think the game should be fun. It should be engaging. It shouldn't be frustrating. And I don't feel like it's cheaty to go back and do that, because you're exploring, and if it allows you to explore and understand better, then by all means do that. There is this clock tower, and you can see the clock does move. So there's a lot, because you can see there's a lot even outside the house that we have not done. And I'm not going to continue. This will be the one time that I stream Blueprints. But I wanted this to kind of be an intro to it, to get you kind of just so you could see it. See if it's really something that you'd want to do. Is this something that you would want to invest in? Is this honestly the kind of puzzle game that you would like? Or do you think that you would find it too tedious or too frustrating? It's just not your cup of tea. But I don't want to sit here and do the whole thing and spoil it. Now, every run you do is going to be different. Every day that you do within a run is going to be different. And you sort of want to, in the beginning, it's just exploring, just trying to learn what the house has to tell you. But then you'll eventually get to the point where you're trying to accomplish very specific goals. But in the beginning, it's really play with it. Learn what's in the rooms, discover what's in the rooms, work on room synergies, try to get new rooms, look at old rooms in new ways. it's a very complex game with a lot going on, and I really enjoy it. But it will be, if you're the kind of person who really wants to, like, if you just want to get to room 46 and like be done, I think I did it on day 46 because I thought you had to. I know it's dinner time. I'll be there. I promise. That you can do it quickly. You can be done, and you can be like, did that. You'll realize at that point that there's so much more to the game, and it'll be up to you if you want to, continue with it, or if that was the objective and that's what that's all that you want to do. But it is actually an amazing game once I really understood what it wanted from me and really how to play it. Like, look at all these rooms we haven't even drafted yet. We haven't even seen. We've seen this place, we've seen that place, that place, that place, that place, but not that place, not that place, not that place. Like, there's so much. But yeah, be prepared for it to be a time sink, and be prepared to take copious notes with lots of cross references. Give yourself grace, and if you are really struggling with figuring something out, go look up hints. Go look up the answer. Don't get bogged down in it. Don't get so frustrated by it that it really just stops you from enjoying the process and the progress of the game. Those are my tips. Anyway, I hope this helps. Let me know if you decide to play it, if you start playing it, because I totally want to geek out about this game and the things that I have found, and the discoveries and the lore and all that. So yeah, let me know if you do that. Anyway, thank you for joining me today, everybody. I hope you had a great time. I had a wonderful time. I'm gonna go have dinner now, so bye, everybody.